September 21st is a day to celebrate because it marks the publication back in 1937 of The Hobbit. That's right, the whole Lord of the Rings phenomenon started on that day, and the Lord of the Rings phenomenon is something to celebrate. I am a huge fan. I first read them in my teens, and I can still tell you where I was when I read Gandalf falling into the abyss in Moria. I can tell you a great many other things about the series too. I know things about characters in The Lord of the Rings that I don't know about my own relatives. But I'm not embarrassed by it. You know, The Lord of the Rings was actually voted the greatest novel of the 20th century by presumably unrepresentative poll of British readers. And this caused the highbrows to faint, you know, people who think that reading James Joyce is fun or that he's deep or, I don't know, that it'll make you look smart or something. But The Lord of the Rings is not fantasy in the irrelevant sense. It's a profound story. It's a deeply moral tale. Tolkien was once accused of writing escapist literature, and he said there's nothing wrong with an escape if you're a prisoner. There is a profound theological grounding in the book. It was Tolkien who brought C.S. Lewis to Christianity in large measure. But two things here. I say the Lord of the Rings phenomenon is something to celebrate. I'm not a big fan of the movies. They lost the plot. They rewrote and they added and they tried to increase the marketing appeal. And in the process, I mean, I know you have to compress a book to make it into a movie, especially something as gigantic as the Lord of the Rings epic. But they cheapen a whole lot of the characters, from Faramir to the Ents to Theoden. I told you I knew a lot about the characters in the book. Their motives in the movie, their characters are tragically diminished from the lesson of nobility that you find in the pages of the book. The other thing is that The Hobbit is a children's book. It's not yet the grand vision that we find in The Lord of the Rings. The orcs are goblins. I keep expecting them to start going, oh wee yo, as they march around, things like that. Gandalf is a kind of comic figure, not an emissary from the higher realms sent to help mankind save itself. Now, they say the truth hurts, and this one's going to hurt. Because I said I don't like the Lord of the Rings movies. I think they're marvelously staged, but morally diminished. But then they went and made a movie of The Hobbit in which they rewrote the story dramatically, and they made it way better. Okay, there, I said it. The movies of The Hobbit, despite a few things that I could nitpick, are way better than the book. The book is a fine thing to read to children, but when you read The Lord of the Rings, you have to forget a lot of what's in The Hobbit. I mean, Tolkien did his best to figure out ways to incorporate it. But the trolls that get tricked by Gandalf and turned into stone are really terrifying monsters, products of the Dark Lord's evil master, Morgoth. I told you I knew too much about the characters in the book, didn't I? It's amazing, but it reveals just how fruitful Middle-earth is, that even The Hobbit could be made into a magnificent series of movies that are worth watching and rewatching and rewatching. As for the books, don't look for them on my shelf. My copies fell apart long ago. That's how worthy I think they are of rereading. So yes, September 21st, 1937, publication of The Hobbit. A great day for literature, a great day for Dungeons and Dragons. That whole phenomenon I'm convinced wouldn't exist without Middle-earth. That's maybe not an endorsement. But a great day for literature and for those of us who love great books with a message that is truly uplifting. Thank you to J.R.R. Tolkien, and thank you to the publisher who had faith in the project right from the beginning. If you're enjoying these commentaries, please visit my website, that's johnrobson.ca, and make a contribution to help sustain It Happened Today and all the other work that I do.